Hello everyone, this is Random Gaming, and today we'll be talking about another God of War theory.
Why do you even chat? You could have walked away.
The cycle ends here. Must be better than this.
God of War 2018 is filled with mysteries that help set up the future of the series. Some of them were answered later in the God of War Ragnarok, but others still remains unsolved. In addition, we must not also forget about the hidden details that were specifically plotted in the game to show a reference to something much bigger yet to come. And that's exactly what makes this game one of the best story-driven experience out there. And in this video, we will look at the similar kind of hidden detail that you might have missed during your gameplay of the story of God of War 2018. I'm talking about the scene where we get to meet the World Serpent for the very first time. But before I put down my theory, I want you guys to watch this cutscene for the context purpose. Also, pay attention to the World Serpent's sounds when he speaks, and most importantly, to the camera angles, which brings our focus and attention towards surrounding.
I see rooms there. This chest. Can't quite make it out. It reads, sacrifice your arms to the center of the water. Awaken again the cradle of the world. What? Throw our weapons into the water? Guess that won't be a problem for you. Are you gonna do it?
The axe did not return. What is this?
It's the world serpent.
Stay calm, boy!
I am! This is great! Yeah! Mom said he's friendly!
What does it say?
I don't know! That was amazing! Wait! There's a shipwreck way over there. See that? And there's a statue of Thor. Except I can see a lot more of him now.
The water dropped, and the serpent rose.
Oh, that must be why the beach wasn't there before, see? And there's the mountain. Look it, that building leads from the foot of the mountain to that golden temple.
It was all just under the surface.
Except for the statue. Good thing, huh? There's even a dock. There, next to the flag. We're going to the dock first, right? We'll be the first people to walk on it in who knows how long.
You know of that serpent?
He's one of the giants. And he's so big he's wrapped around the whole world and bites his own tail.
An exaggeration.
I don't know. Looked pretty big to me.
Now, before the world serpent says anything, he throws back the Leviathan axe, which is now embedded with an enchantment. If you see on the top right corner, you will see there is an enchantment known as Ear, which is poisonous and was responsible for giving Thor the wound that would not heal. But how can we confirm that it is indeed a poison? Well, during the very end of our God of War 2018 story, Kratos and Atreus had to go inside the world serpent to recover Mimir's other eye. And that's when we get to hear this line that confirms the world serpent is indeed poisonous and was responsible to use it on Thor, according to one of the murals portraying Ragnarok.
Ale fermenting. Rather pleasant, actually.
You're so weird. The water kind of burns in it. That is water, isn't it?
Aye.
Now, the second hidden detail I want to talk about is probably the most famous one regarding this cutscene. And many of us probably know this theory, and I bet many of you guys has already known this. But for those who do not know this, when Jormungandr starts to speak, his sound is very familiar to the words "I know you, Kratos." And this was pointed out by a common God of War fan, and then he later on put it in the community, and that's how it got exploited. And many of the YouTubers, famous YouTubers such as Captain Cuba, John Ford, who make God of War theories in regular basis, it caught their eye, and then they discuss about this and then validate it. It really comes true that his sounds actually matches wording that says "I know you, Kratos," which was very interesting and very prominent hidden detail that director of this game and Santa Monica Studios has put it on. Ember
This is great! Mom said he's friendly.
What does it say?
I don't know. That was amazing.
This is very interesting detail to point
There's a
out,
shipwreck way over there.
but this is not the only thing that I'm talking about.
There's a statue of Thor.
Just wait until you are at the end of this cutscene.
The water dropped, and the serpent rose.
Now, the third most prominent hidden detail that I want to mention in front of you guys is this cutscene cinematography and the camera angle that has been used to explain the relationship between each prominent characters within the traditional myth and also the Norse saga in this game. In this scene, we are introduced to the world serpent, Jormungandr, one of the most important characters in the entire Norse saga of God of War. But what makes this scene most interesting is that it is not only focused on the serpent itself, but in the background, if you notice, the game also shows the figure of Thor, the serpent's greatest rival in Norse mythology. This is clearly not a coincidence. Santa Monica Studio intentionally framed both of them together to symbolize the legendary rivalry that defines their existence. These two are deeply connected in the myth, and the game wants you to understand that from the very beginning, even though this moment belongs to Jormungandr, Thor's presence in the background reminds us that you cannot truly separate them. Now, obviously, the world serpent appears to be massive here, almost beyond our imagination, and naturally you would assume that no one could rival such a power. But this is exactly why Thor's figure is placed behind him, to silently tell the audience that Thor's might stand equal to the world serpent's. It is the visual storytelling without directly saying a word. The game is already preparing us for one of the greatest rivalry in Norse mythology long before Thor himself even appears in the game. Now, right after this first part of the scene, pay close attention as the camera continues to move, and especially where it stops. First, it stops directly to Thor's figure. We already discussed how important Thor is within the Norse mythology, and this scene makes it clear that he will play an equally important role in the future of this story. But then the scene becomes even more clever. Watch carefully where the camera moves to next. At first glance, it seems like the game is simply following what Atreus is pointing at, but if you pay close attention, you can notice a green raven flying openly in the background. That raven is extremely important. In Norse mythology, we already know ravens directly connected to Odin, the All-Father. Unlike Thor or Jormungandr, Odin is not represented here through a massive statue or a giant physical presence. Instead, the game only shows a raven, and that choice perfectly reflects Odin's character. Thor and Volserpent are known for raw strength and overwhelming power. They are forces you can clearly see, but Odin is different. Odin is the seeker of knowledge, the manipulator, the watcher hiding in the shadows. You do not always see him directly, but he is always present, always observing. And later in the story, Mimir also confronts this idea about Odin's nature. But the foreshadowing and the symbolism does not end here in this cutscene. Near the very end of this cutscene, the camera finally stops to another important figure, that is Tyr, the Norse god of war. Holding a spear and shield represents another major force within both Norse mythology and the future of this story. The camera only focuses on the characters who will become deeply important later in the game and the Norse saga as a whole. Jormungandr, Thor, Odin, and Tyr, all of them are foreshadowed here before the player fully understands their importance. It is almost as if the game is quietly giving us glimpses of the future from very beginning. And that attention to the hidden details, symbolism, and long-term storytelling is exactly what makes God of War 2018 such an unforgettable game. And these all hidden details is not only coincident, but also confirmed by the director of the game, Cory Barlog.
Like when I'm mapping out the world, I'm gonna map out the world. If you get to experience the next thing, you get to have the pleasure of looking back and going, holy crap, they thought about that all the way back there, right? Instead of like hand wavy thing and you just sort of figured it out and figured out a way to shoehorn it in. It's like, no, every single thing in this game means something because it is something later. And it's like everything that we set up and pay off in this game is giving you that fulfilling experience. But it also has that sense of, but what does that mean? What does that mean? Why did they do that?
Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please leave a like if you find anything interesting, and also leave a comment and let me know what you guys think about the video and also what you don't like about the video. I would love to hear it and I can make necessary changes in my videos. Also put down your opinion and is there any new evidence or symbolism you have found in this game, because as you already know, the director of this game, Cory Barlog, has deliberately mentioned again and again in his interviews that there is more to this game. There is a lot of symbolism and hidden signs and evidence that shows that foreshadowing of maybe the next game or even the next game. So basically I'm talking about more further future than what we will get in the future basically. So please leave that comment and any suggestions that you have for me to improve upon, and let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I will see you again in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye.
Goodbye, Faye.
I love you, Mom. The giants. They really are all gone. There's nothing for us here.